Hello and welcome to my new and improved video on how to set up a Minecraft server with a web interface. In this video we're going to be using Panel. It is very good. The way it works is in here you've got a list of all your servers. For me I just got this one which is currently not enabled and this one which is. And then you click on it and you've got your console. Then in the statistics you can see your CPU usage and your RAM usage. It's got a basic file system where you can also go in and edit any of them. Then in the settings you can choose which build of whatever thing you're using, if you agree to the EULA, the IP address if you want to specify a specific one, the path, how much memory, the MOTD, what port and what version you want to use, and then you can also give access to other users as opposed to just the admin user. And then there's also the ability to automatically start and stop your server. There are restart and stop buttons up here, and that's about it. So now I'm going to get on with showing you how to actually install this onto your server. As usual with all these videos, that's going to start with us making a VM. I will, as always, leave the link to all of this in the description. I will also in the description leave timestamps, so if you already have a server set up and you just want to skip ahead to the part where you set up Panel, that is okay. However, I am now going to jump into making the server. So you will need to make yourself an account with Oracle. It is a free account, however it will ask for a credit card. This is just to validate that you aren't having loads and loads and loads of different accounts and are using the stuff they're giving away for free. So once you've done it, you will be greeted with this page. If not, just click up here, which is Oracle Cloud, and then you will be taken to here. Then click on Create a VM Instance down here, wait for it to load, and then you can either give it a name or not, it doesn't matter. Then in placement, make sure that you are on AD1. It might say always free legible on some of the others, however there have been problems with picking the other two. That is fine. Then in the image and shape, you're going to want to change the image over to Ubuntu, and make sure it is the actual version and not the minimal one, because the minimal one won't work. Then change the shape to an ampere, click there, drag this all the way to 4, and then click Select Shape. That's now your image and shape. Then in networking, you can leave this as it is. If this is your first time creating one of these, then it will create a new one. If it is not, it will be select existing virtual cloud network. That's fine, leave it as it is. Fine with the subnet again, but make sure it is assigning a public IPv4 address. Then in SSH keys, you're going to want to save the private key. You can also save the public key, however I have found that to be completely useless. And then leave the boot volume as it is. Then just click on Create. Once you click on Create, that will take you to this screen. Then you're just going to want to wait for this to say running, and then we'll be ready to do stuff. So as you can see, it is now green and is saying running, which means we can get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come down here to where it says subnet, click on it, then click on default security list, and then we're going to add some ingress rules. Up here we're going to put 0.0.0.0/0, leave this as TCP, and then put 25565, then add another one, same again, except this time we're going to change it to UDP and put 25565. Then we're going to add another one, again 0.0.0, leave that, and this time put it as 80, and then another one, again 0.0.0, change this to UDP, and then 80. And then there is one more that we need to do, and that is add there, 0.0.0, and then we're going to want to do 5657, and then again accept UDP, like so. Then we click add ingress rules, and they will all appear. Once we've done that, we can then back to here. And then we're going to actually connect to our server. So for that, I recommend that you drag and drop the private key that you saved into a folder somewhere you can keep it safe. Then you're going to need to get up Putty and PuttyGen, as this is what we're going to be using to create a private key to be able to actually use it on Putty, and then Putty is what we're going to be using to actually connect to the server. So we're going to click on Load, and then make sure you navigate to the folder you saved it in. I'm already in it. Then we're going to click on here, and then All Files. That will make everything else appear. And then select the SSH key, and then Open. It'll give you a warning, just say OK, and then Save Private Key. Yes, we want to save without a passphrase, and then just give it a name. I'd like to give it something like Access. Then you can close PuttyGen. Then in here, you're going to put Ubuntu at, then come in here and copy your public IP address, and then paste it in there. Then click on the plus next to SSH, click on Auth, then Browse, and then select your access.ppk, and then open it. You'll be greeted with a security alert, just press Accept. So now what we're going to do is we are going to add some passwords to this. This is just in the unlikely event that your private key somehow stops working, you will still be able to access your server. So the way that we are going to do this is we are going to run this command. First we're going to do sudo, let's just put ourselves as the root, then run this command which will take us in here. Then we're going to scroll right down to where it says password authentication no, and then we're going to change this to yes. This just allows it to actually use password authentication. Then press Ctrl X, then Y, and then enter to exit, and then run this command to basically refresh the SSH config, which is what we just edited. Now it will be accepting passwords. So the way that we're going to add a password is we're going to run this. And then, yes, then if you press enter, it will ask you for your password. Now you can enter it. It will not appear. I have just entered mine, but nothing has appeared. And then press enter, retype it. And as you can see, it says password has been successfully updated. Then I press the up arrow to bring that up again, and then change Ubuntu for root. Then do it again. Enter. Enter. And now you have added passwords successfully to both Ubuntu and root. I recommend that before you go any further, you open up another instance of Putty, you put in Ubuntu, then paste that, or if you want to, you could put root and then put the root password in, and then press open, then you put in the password you chose, enter, and it will bring you in. So now if you do sudo-s, then you are nice and easy in as root, and you can do anything you need without needing your private key. Let's close that down. So now that we've done that, it's time to get the server ready to be able to host a Minecraft server. So the first thing that we need to do for that is we need to add Java 16. So in order to do that, I've just copied that again by accident. You're going to paste in this command and hit enter, then enter again, and this will add the repository that is needed to install Java 16. If you're running something before 1.17, you will just need Java 11. However, you should probably still go for a more up-to-date version. And then if you run this command, then this will actually install it. Press Y, then enter, and then wait a second, it'll bring up this. Press your right arrow key to bring the little red box over OK. Press enter, the left arrow key to select yes. Then once this progress bar has reached all the way to the end, we will now have installed Java. Just give it a second, and there we are. So now it's time to set up our firewall. So for this, you are going to need to run this command. Then hit enter. Oh, sorry, I forgot. First of all, we need to actually install Firewall. So just run that command, and then press enter. Yes, we want to do it. Wait a second, and then Firewall is now installed. So now we'll do up arrow again. Now when we do it, it'll just say success. Then you're going to want to do this for every single port that we forwarded earlier. So for both of those, then for the 8080 port, and then for the 8080 port in TCP, and so on and so on. With just one final port to go, which is the 5657 port. Yeah, in both TCP and UDP. Then we're basically just going to reload the firewall. And we're going to run that command, and now all of everything is now correctly forwarded. So now we are going to move on to installing PufferPanel. Okay, so the first command we're going to want to do is a curl command, and it's this one, which basically gets all the packages and stuff for PufferPanel. It's quite a mouthful to say. So give that a second. Now the repository is set up. So then the next command we're going to run is going to actually install PufferPanel itself. So we run that. Then this next command enables it as a system, which means that it just runs in the background. And then this next one, and then this next command starts the system. And then finally we're going to add a user. This is going to be our admin user. So give it a username. I'm just going to go with admin. Give it an email. For me, I've got a temporary email that I'm just going to use. Then give it a password. Then confirm the password. Then press yes when it asks if it's an admin. Another user has been added. So now I've added a user, we're going to want to copy our public IP address and then go up here, :8080, and then press enter. And now we are in the login page. So here you're going to want to put the email and password that you picked when you created your user. So for me that's my temporary email and then my password, and then press login. So now as you can see, we are in the panel. However, it says that we have no servers. So how do we get some? Well, we're going to need to come down into templates, then press import templates, and then here, select here, and then you've got to find the template that you want. So as you can see, there are loads more things than just Minecraft. There's all sorts on here. However, for us, we want Minecraft. So as you can see, there are plenty of different options, and you can pick whichever one suits you best. For me, I'm just going to pick paper. However, you can also do several, so you can also do purple, you can do whatever you want. For me, I'm just going to do paper. Then just press import templates. Give it a moment, and then once this turns green, it'll say imported templates. So I'll be back, there we are, now it's done. It's successfully imported the template Minecraft paper. So now if we go into servers and press add, then it will give us the option of our paper Minecraft. If we had others, it would give us those as well. So click on it, and then press use this template. Now it's time to give it a name. I'm just going to give mine the name of test. For now, leave the node as a local node, and then leave it in the standard environment. You can run it in Docker if you want, however that's not what I'm going to be doing. Then press next, and then leave this as it is. If you have other users on your PufferPanel, which I will show you how to add in a second by the way, then you can add them here to give them access as well. However, for now, just leave it as just the admin. Then press next, and now it's time to pick the version that you want. So for this, you're going to want to open this in a new tab, and then find out what the newest one that's available is. For me, it is 209. So here I'm going to put 209, and then you've got to agree to the EULA as usual, however it's just a nice little tick. Leave those two the same unless you know what you're doing, and then change this to the amount of RAM you want to allocate. I'm just going to give it about 400, nope, yeah, about 496, there we go, about 4 gig of RAM. This is where you can change the port, however you will need to also forward that port, and then this is where you pick the version. They haven't updated it to automatically pick the latest yet. It's just for now. However, make sure that you pick the correct build for your version of paper if you're using paper. Because see, if I picked 786, it would probably run into a problem. And then click Create. Now once, it might take a few seconds, usually it's instant, but it might take a little while. It'll say ready to be installed. Once that's happened, just click up here, install, it'll download right to the server, get it all done, and then just click, and once it says server installed, you just click start. That will then start your server. Now it's time to actually add your server to Minecraft, so now we'll just copy this, come on to Minecraft. I don't use this one anymore, so I'm just going to change that, press done, and then if we refresh it, then if we check in here on buffer panel, the server has started. So in Minecraft, give it a second, and then this should just connect to your server. Give it a second, and there we are, pinging, it's found it, and now we double click, we can join. And then to use the console, you just come onto buffer panel, and then type whatever you want in here. Okay, it made me an operator. Now, some things just to watch out for is that I've found there's been problems and stuff with the server just basically crashing and not restarting when you use the stop button up here. So just be wary of doing that, and I would advise that you just either come on the game and type /stop, or do it in the console. However, just be on the safe side, I would recommend doing it in here. I'm sure it's something that they will fix, however it's just better to be safe rather than sorry. So once you're on here, you can then, down at the bottom, you've got your statistics, as I mentioned earlier, with all the usage, your files, which at the moment will say nothing, however if we refresh, then it's got all of our stuff. Then in the settings, this is where you can change all the stuff that you set at the start, so if you want a different paper version, change that. Make sure that you reinstall it if you do change the build or the version. You can change the port, the message of the day, all that sort of stuff. Then in users, you can add a user, put their email, which they will have to create for Buffer Panel, which I'll show you how to do in a second, and then you can let them edit the server, install, do all sorts of different things, which I'm not going to do for now. And then in the admin you can also set it to start the server when the node starts, so that's basically whenever this here starts, which we are not going to be touching. When the server just stops normally, so if you stop it, then it will just automatically bring itself back up, and then restart it when the server crashes. So again, automatically bring it back up if the server stops. Highly recommend this one. You can pick and choose between all the rest of them though. So that's just about everything, except from adding a new user, which I'll show you how to do now. So the way that you do it is you're going to need to log out, and then have them come to this page, and then click register. Then they'll pick their username, their email, they'll set a password, and then when you're signed in, you will be able to then add them. So if I just real quick sign in, then as I said earlier, you can add a user, put their email, give them all the permissions that you would like them to be able to do, and then they will be able to do that. There's one final thing that I'm now going to show you, which is just how to access the files from this server using Filezilla. So we're going to obviously bring up Filezilla, ignore that, press Edit, Settings, then in SFTP, add key file, and then add this one. You can add that one, but I recommend you doing this one because it works better. And then OK. Then in Host, what we're going to do is add our server IP. So we're just going, oh, it's not in there. Whoops. There we are, and then put your username as Ubuntu like that, and then connect. Then you will be able to, oh no, sorry. At the front here, you got to sftp:// then connect. And now you'll be in. So to go to the folder with all of your stuff in, you're going to want to come all the way back, go into VAR, then it's in lib, and then buffer panel, and then servers. And then here it will have a random string of numbers. Go into the folder, and then here's all the files. If you would like to, you can upload any plugins to here. And then if you already have a server that you've been using and you want to add it to Puffer Panel, just basically delete everything in here, and then move it all across. Some things to note: to be able to give yourself permission to write and stuff in each of these folders, just come into your Putty, type chmod space 777, and then the actual directory here. So just click up here, Control-C to copy, and then paste it, then enter. And now, if I want to, I can edit all of these things. So that should be just about everything for this tutorial. If you have any questions, feel free to join my Discord server and ask. I hope you found this very useful and informative. Thank you for watching.